Stadia. People might think that Stadia failed because no one wanted cloud gaming or that the platform was terrible in performance. Now, I would agree that Stadia wasn't the best in the beginning.
I just could not get over how bad the input delay was and how poorly the game performed. That was my first and only time ever using a Stadia.
But when the service was cancelled, the service was sporting features that no other cloud gaming service was. 4K resolution, up to 60 FPS, HDR, and 5.1 surround sound. And this was available just after release in 2019. Stadia was way ahead of the cloud gaming industry. So why did they die? Well, that's a loaded question, but ultimately, Google marketing itself destroyed Stadia by not knowing who to sell it to and not having the games people wanted to play on the service.
And electric air. And this electric air is Stadia.
There's some other key factors too, but please know that Stadia didn't die because of performance. But the real question is, why is Xbox, one of the biggest players in the gaming industry, behind on their cloud gaming efforts? This is complicated, but we'll dive into all the evidence on why this is the case. So let's do a bit of history to get more of the full story on why Microsoft is so behind. Microsoft launched the first version of the service, nicknamed Project xCloud, right around the same time Stadia launched in 2019. It only supported a handful of games, and it launched trials of the service in limited areas.
And we're going to be in 3 markets where we're starting: the United States, the United Kingdom, and Korea. And we're going to be opening up the invitations, we're going to select people from who signs up, and we're going to start kind of small, and then we're just going to continually expand over time.
Please know that this is not a full launch as Google did with Stadia. So as you can see, Microsoft started off small and slow with the service. Now, why would they do this? Well, in the business aspect, it's smart to start small with new technology since they already had a player base with their Xbox consoles. There is no need to risk spending tons of money on something they didn't know was going to succeed or not. Stadia, on the other hand, had to risk it all and go crazy with the service out the gate because their cloud gaming model was really the only method for providing games. Google didn't have a competing console in the space, so it was either Stadia or bust. Now let's talk more about the Xbox cloud gaming technology. Microsoft said they wanted to start off supporting console games and not PC games first.
So back at GDC 2019, we hadn't launched anything publicly yet. We were planning our first public preview for that fall. We were getting ready to figure out what kind of business model it should have and what content should it have. But we had no idea what was going to happen next.
To make it as easy as possible to reach these players on these devices, years ago, we made the decision that we were going to stream console games.
Now this only made sense because the Xbox name is associated with console gaming. So the hardware they decided to start with was the Xbox One, and this was a problem in itself. The Xbox One was already very aging hardware. It was already 6 to 7 years old at this time. Generally, cloud gaming hardware is brand new to last several years. Microsoft is already behind just from doing this. Fast forward to 2021. This is actually a pivotal year in several decisions for Xbox Cloud. Microsoft's plans were very big for the future of the service. They actually had plans to stream your own PC games, develop a standalone cloud tier similar to GeForce Now, and improve the current service to upgrade to Series X power. Only one of those things actually happened. It was announced in June 2021 that Microsoft has upgraded to Series X server blades. Granted, they're only giving us Series S power, but what about the other plans? What happened? The FTC and the Activision Blizzard King deal. That's what happened. This almost stopped Microsoft completely in its tracks. Do you remember what the main issue the FTC and the CMA had with the deal? Cloud gaming. That's right. These organizations took a look at the plans for the acquisition and tried to put a stop to their acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. Remember all the leaked plans that were established in 2021, including streaming your own PC games, having your own dedicated cloud-only tier outside of Game Pass, and even their own cloud gaming Xbox named Keystone was put to the side. There were hardware limitations with Keystone, but on top of this, Google announced in 2022 that Stadia would be shutting down, which made Microsoft think a little harder about going down the path that they were. But ultimately, this actually helped them win the case against the FTC and CMA, with Microsoft in quote-unquote third place against Sony and Nintendo with the console wars, and then cloud gaming looking like it's dying. This helped them look like cloud gaming wasn't much of a threat. Post Activision Blizzard King acquisition, Microsoft lost several years of development time in the cloud with the lawsuit. The Activision Blizzard King acquisition was their focus for several years, so currently we're stuck with old Series X server blades that were launched back in 2021. We lost some 5 years of solid Xbox cloud innovations. This is why they're so behind. But now, in the past year, you have seen them pushing a lot more Xbox cloud advances, including playing your own games on any device. And since the Activision Blizzard King acquisition is out of the way, I would bet that they've had plenty discussions reviving their old plans with streaming your own PC games and having a cloud-only tier. But there have been a few new problems in the industry that have gotten in the way of Microsoft's new vision for Xbox going forward. It comes down to 3 things. The first thing being, they need a next-gen Xbox. This current hardware is getting old now. 2. Crossplay and cross-platform functionality is a big thing now. And 3. Capacity and bandwidth on Xbox Cloud. So let's talk about capacity and bandwidth first. Microsoft has the second biggest cloud infrastructure in the world, but they've been losing the console war ever since they started. They're hoping cloud gaming with their massive reach will be able to target gamers that have never had consoles before. And please know that these gamers who have never had consoles outnumber those who've had consoles at least 4 to 1. Places like South America, India, and Asia, which have a massive amount of not just people, but gamers who generally play on their phone. This is why they are currently dropping billions of dollars to build data centers to expand their reach to these areas. They might not have actual Xbox hardware, but they will be Xbox players. Now regarding bandwidth, they could give us some higher bit rates currently, but the problem is that Xbox supports so many players that they need to minimize bandwidth as much as possible to minimize costs. The new AV1 codec should help with this. The Xbox Keystone was shelved because of this. AV1 needs to be supported on more devices and costs less to support. The more Microsoft waits, the more we get to this point. Another thing that's been an issue with Xbox has been cross-play and cross-progression. And this is not just Microsoft, this is consoles in general. But this is now the new standard for the gaming industry, and Microsoft is actually leading the charge with their Xbox Play Anywhere initiative. The problem is that Xbox or console hardware hasn't always played nicely with PC games. This past few years, development has been very difficult for game developers to get cross-play working for multiple platforms.
Yeah, what we saw on some previous games that I've worked on, especially that were games as a service, is there was that older mentality of, okay, there's my PC friends that are playing here, my console, my Xbox friends, and my PlayStation friends, and then even players having universes and where they were, I'm with these friends on this night playing on PC and these friends on console, and this was just kind of understood for a while until we started to hear back from the player base, like, could we not? Like, it's technology. Is there any way we could just not? And I think that's where we started to see some of that mellowing out of more of, okay, we've been doing it this way, but is there a way that we couldn't? And it being a very high request coming in from players of, I don't want to have different friends and ecosystems and even different players that I'm spending hours and hours in to build up. And so, yes, I think they started to see some games started to shift, and then we started seeing other games like, well, this game does it. Why can't we be more like them? And then our players going, yeah, why can't we be more like them? And we go, oh God, okay, we have to make this work for everybody.
But things are changing in favor for game developers. This leads me into the introduction of the next-gen hardware for not just Xbox, but for the industry as a whole. They've been holding off on upgrades to solve all of these problems I just mentioned, with this next-gen hardware which combines not just console and PC functionality, but cloud functionality as well, so that the next generation games and hardware work in sync. This hardware designed by AMD introduces new architecture called UDNA that combines the latest AMD desktop graphics and data center processing to make sure everything works flawlessly no matter where you play your game, including the cloud. This is going to make it possible to play console and PC games on next-gen Xbox hardware. This will also help game devs develop games much easier. Microsoft is counting on this new hardware to work so much, they skipped the mid-generation upgrade of the current consoles to make way for the next-gen Xbox. In turn, they should be doing the same thing with Xbox Cloud. Why spend millions on upgrades for 2025 or 2026 when they will just be replaced in about a year's time? So that's where we are, guys. We're gonna have to wait until the next-gen Xbox for next-gen upgrades. In the meantime though, there is a possibility though that they might give us 4K access if they turn on the full capabilities of the current server blades that they're running on Series X hardware. Or we might even be getting a cloud-only tier. Who knows? But as explained, Microsoft is behind for several reasons. And it's been a long ride, but Microsoft is playing the catch-up game. We can definitely see though that they're pushing cloud gaming with their "This is an Xbox" campaign, so they mean business and they're not letting up. We just gotta let them cook. So what are your thoughts on the situation? Do you think Microsoft should be giving us high quality 4K 60 FPS gameplay already? Or is it smart for them to wait? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this overview of the history of Xbox Cloud, give us a like. Also, make sure to join as a member of the channel or join our Patreon and our Discord links below. And above all else, make sure to subscribe to keep it locked right here at the only place we can do battle in gaming heaven, Cloud Gaming Battle.
So at Xbox, it's our mission to enable you to play the games you want with the people you want anywhere you want.